Mark and I took a bus from Bari to Matera, Italy, and the bus ride was about an hour and a half. I think the tickets were about $15 or $20 each. And we are going to be showing you where we stayed for 3 nights. All right, this is home for the next 3 nights. And this is a UNESCO city, and it's the oldest in Italy. It's called Matera, and it is the 3rd oldest in the world. So this is home for the next 3 days. And here's the bathroom. Turn on the light. Blow dryer, soap, shampoo, body wash, shower. Looks like a jet bathtub. So we're gonna go out and explore and do some coverage. So I'm gonna talk over me talking because the wind was pretty strong and you couldn't really hear my voice. Anyhow, basically I was saying that this was one of the oldest cities in Italy and the 3rd oldest in the world. And we're going to take you on a walking tour with us. So come and enjoy Matera, Italy.
One of the oldest cities in the world, nature, history, and culture come together in Matera. The place is rich in scenery, unique architectural works, views of incomparable charm. Matera has captivated many artists, including Carlo Levi, Giovanni Pascoli, and continues to enchant with its Sassi, a World Heritage Site claimed as the 3rd oldest continually inhabited settlement in the world after Aleppo and Jericho. The southern Italian city has been inhabited for at least 9,000 years. Matera is a magical place that preserves the evidence of human settlement since the Paleolithic period in its natural caves carved into the rock. When visiting Matera, you feel as though you're entering into a nativity scene. Houses, churches, monasteries, and hermitages are built into the natural caves. Matera has been referred to as the 2nd Bethlehem. The panoramic terrace overlooking Matera next to the 17th century Palazzo La Frenchi, home to the National Museum of the Medieval and Modern Art Basilicata, stands the small Piazzetta Pascoli Square in Matera, dedicated to the famous poet Giuseppe Pascoli, who started out as a high school teacher in his town in 1882. The square is one of the best vantage points for admiring the uniqueness of this stone city. We made our way to the top, to the Cathedral of Matera. It was a long climb, probably several hundred steps, but once you get to the top, it's well worth the reward. It gives you another fantastic view of the city. And here we are coming out on the plaza, and then from here you can look out, or you have to go around to the other side of the church to get into the museum, and then once you're into the museum, you can actually go into the church through the museum. The entrance fee to the museum and the cathedral was €3.50 or about $5 US per person.
Walking through this church was just incredible. It was magnificent. It was huge. So much detail to the the drawings all over the ceilings, different passages kind of that had different little rooms to it.
It takes a while just to sit down in a church and take in all of the art, the painting, the architecture. It was just truly amazing. Look at that ceiling. I was just blown away by it, and still I'm amazed just looking at the video of it. The church was constructed between 1230 and 1270 during the reign of Emperor Frederick II. The architectural style is predominantly Apulian Romanesque, with some Baroque additions made in later centuries.
The church was pretty incredible. It had marble columns through it, and the detail was just a lot to take in. And so Mark and I did sit there for probably 20 minutes, just awing. So these are like little toot-toot or whatever they're called, tuk-tuks, whatever, I don't know the word, but where they'll kind of tour you around town if you don't want to walk through it. So that's an option too if you're visiting Matera. So as we're walking around town, you'll see this design on a lot of the side of the houses, and there's a lot of people that actually carve these out and then sell them. They're pretty cool looking. Mark will take some pictures and show you. So as we walk around town, there's all kinds of different shops, little restaurants along the streets. So we'll take you for a tour.
Strolling through the city streets, moving amongst the caves and underground passages where the ancient cave dwellings have remained intact over the centuries, and getting lost among the shops, stopping at the many panoramas to admire the unique views of the city that this city can offer. Around every corner it seemed that there were a small cafe or souvenir shops, just so many things to look at. When you're in Matera, be sure to check out all these little cubbyhole places.
The history of Matera begins with the prehistoric times, as evidenced by the numerous pottery vessels dating back to the early Neolithic period that have been found in the caves. The first nomadic people to come to Murgia, or the plateau, were followed by others dedicated to sheep farming.
Now, Matera is not a place for those with walking disabilities or hip issues or something like that. Paulette and I figure we climbed probably about 1,500 steps a day going up and down. So if you have mobility issues, just keep that in mind.
Or the other alternative is to hire somebody to give you a tour on one of those tuk-tuks. The thing about walking around the city is that everywhere you went, you thought that it was spectacular what you came upon, and then you turn the corner again or go down some stairs or up some stairs, and let me tell you, there were a lot of stairs. My butt was aching by the day end for sure, but it was just incredible. All the different scenery, all the different things. The architect was just, I don't know, phenomenal. It was like being back in ancient times, walking through the streets.
Matera was full of these tunnels, walkways, and you'd go up one and it would take you to a plaza like this.
Saturday today, so there's a lot of people out and about.
That's interesting, yeah.
Matera, Italy is a captivating ancient city with rich history and unique architect. It became a UNESCO World Heritage Site in 1993. Matera was selected as Europe's 2019 Capital of Culture.
Now, if some of the scenery looks familiar to you, maybe you might recognize it from the James Bond movie, No Time to Die, or the movie The Passion of the Christ.
So this is the Church of Santa Maria de Idris, and I'm telling you, we climbed this sucker too. You had to climb up to get to it and then climb around it. Stairways and ancient buildings is none like you've ever seen. It's like stepping back in time. The old streets of the city are fascinating, although it was profoundly damaged by the 1980 earthquake. As you look out in the distance over here, you can see that there are some caves up on the hills right there. Mark will focus up on them. So there were a lot of steps, to get down to the ravine, that there was some dirt paths to get on the other side, and you also had to cross. Right there is a rope bridge somewhere in there. I don't know if that was it or that was a dirt path, but there was a rope bridge to get you across, and I wasn't about to do that, not at 65 years of age.
Yeah, but if you did do that, you could go explore some of the old cave homes.
How come you didn't want to do that then, honey?
Because it was a long way down and then a long way up and then coming back, another long way down and another long way up.
Yeah.
But an interesting story, back in the 1950s, an Italian writer, well known, came to Matera, and he described Matera as basically the disgrace of Italy because of all of the people still living in caves. And then right after that, the Italian government came in and started providing housing for these people and moving them out of the caves.
My final thoughts are this place is magical, and it preserves the evidence of history from long, long ago, 9,000 years ago. And it's an incredible place to see and take in. I'd say if you guys ever get a chance to come here, please do. You could spend 2 days here, although we spent 3.
Matera is a popular tourist destination in southern Italy. For me, it was just absolutely amazing. It was like walking through centuries of history. I was just about in awe, going around every corner, admiring the uniqueness of the stone city and just all of the stuff that it had to offer.
The views become even more impressive in the evening when just after sunset, the city lights are switched on, almost like a starry sky. This video was taken right outside of our Airbnb that we were staying at. We hope that if you like what we're doing, that you will consider subscribing to our channel.